Hey, I gained a lot more respect for Vivek Ramaswamy, bro. I brought him up on the channel a couple weeks back because he caught my eye. He's running for president, man. He pulled up on Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy and some other girl, and pretty much it was like a damn ambush. I just want to key on just the disrespect that was displayed during the conversation. There was nothing professional about it, dog. It just made the Breakfast Club look weak. It made those involved look weak, and it made Vivek look dope. Regardless of where you align and who you gonna vote for, if you even care about politics, it's beyond that. They tried to make Vivek Ramaswamy look bad, and they made themselves look terrible, bro. So the interview is like 40 minutes long. I'm not gonna go through all that, man. It was just some points I wanted to highlight here that really got my attention. That I gained a lot more respect for Vivek Ramaswamy and how he handled the nonsense they put him through. So let's check it out.
Explain to me your position on this civic duty voting.
Sure. So my position is, I think that every kid who graduates from high school should know the minimums about the country that we require an immigrant to know about the country in order to become a citizen. So there's a test. My mom had to pass it. Every immigrant has to pass it to this country that asks you some basic questions. What are the three branches of government? What branch of government does the U.S. president lead? Some basic questions about what is the Bill of Rights. I think that if we're going to ask immigrants to pass that test, as we should, I think every 18-year-old who graduates from high school should have to pass that as well, because young people, it goes back to that issue of pride. You don't value a country that you don't know something about. You don't value something you inherit. You value something you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about. So how do we think big about this? Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. Super small numbers. And apparently 60% of them say they would rather give up their right to vote than give up TikTok. Well, I say, all right, let's take that to the next level. How about we do something that raises the voting age from 18 to 25, but you still get to vote at 18 if you just pass that same civics test that an immigrant has to pass in order to vote. And tests aren't for everybody, so be it. Then you at least serve in the military or a first responder role for 6 months. That's my civic duty voting proposal.
Nick, our camera guy, do you know the three branches of the
Nick
federal
is
government?
over 24, so it don't matter.
But I'm just saying, but nobody knows there are 24. Red, do you know the three branches?
Executive.
Well, I got
Just because your ass don't know it don't mean nothing. You thinking about self-interest and the fact that you are ignorant of common knowledge amongst, I don't even know if it's a majority now, bro, because right now Americans are dumb. They're not aware. They don't know what the hell's going on in the world outside their little TikTok and Instagram bubble. That's a really ignorant thing to say. Just because you don't know it means nothing. Judicial, executive, legislative. And then the crazy thing about it too is that it's an American thing, bro. You go outside of the states and ask other countries about what's going on in America. They know more about what's going on in America than the common American does. That's a problem. And regardless if you agree with Ramaswamy's proposal or not, man, it would definitely require Americans to become more knowledgeable on what's taking place in America. This type of proposal, this type of way of thinking would definitely get people up to par knowledge-wise of where they need to be to make America great again, because you really know what's going on. And if you know what's going on, you care about it. Instead of all this toxic social media shit they posting, they got us distracted about the damn submarine when they're about to damn sell fake meat to everybody. They ain't talking about that. Bro, there's so much other, I'm going on a tangent, bro, but like, I just thought that was an ignorant statement to make. And you got a big ass platform like that. You're just making people that much dumber by relating to what you saying, because I'd imagine a lot of the listeners probably align with what DJ MB said, because they don't fucking know it. Since I don't fucking know it, then it's a problem.
Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
I will, absolutely.
So
and the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right, yeah. So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen, to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
and you don't even have to be. And you don't even have to be.
Her saying you sat around is being disrespectful, because he definitely did not sit around. The guy is running for president. You can't just sit around and be in that position. She's being condescending and disrespectful, and she knows she's being disrespectful because she just said, "Please don't take anything to heart," because you're intending on being disrespectful.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class president. So have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio.
You mentioned my parents.
I'm saying your parents were immigrants. My apologies.
That's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I
thought
I would set that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants, but let's not go down the water hole.
No, we're not going to water hole.
Let's not go down the water hole, bitch. You said it. He holding you accountable. He trying to correct you. Anybody let you just sit here and disrespect him, telling falsehoods? You know what I mean? Let's not talk about what I just said that's incorrect. Let's focus attention on this bullshit I'm about to say to you right now.
I just want to correct a couple facts, and then the other thing is
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is, did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did.
I know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But I think that this is I have held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it kind of does. Okay, it kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader? Right, the main leadership role I've played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today. One of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated. 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
right. Well, I don't want you to filibuster that because that's not the question that I asked. And I don't consider, as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you did for profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your company. I'm not talking about
I've not served the country
because that means nothing to me.
You do
what I'm talking
because that means nothing to me, bro. It's just like that's so trash, bruh. That's so trash, dog. To on this man's accomplishments. He's serving in medicine, saving lives, right? It's children's lives, adults' lives, giving these people better quality of life. But she's talking about more of the self-interest type of thing. I'm a veteran. I served. But you don't serve for free, right? You don't serve for free. Last time I checked, there's a bunch of benefits that attract civilians to enlisting in the Army. You ain't doing it for free. You're getting paid, GI bills, all types of perks, this, that, and the third. You doing that because you want to serve your country, then do it for free then. Do it for free. You ain't no better. This is all an agenda, a bullshit-ass agenda trying to call this man out, make him look bad when you're making yourself look sad, because there's no merit, there's no credibility, there's no honesty in this conversation. Whatever you did in medicine, you made millions off making medicine, and that means nothing to me. So fuck all the lives that you saved, fuck all the lives you made better, fuck all that because you ain't serving the army. I'm better, man. Get your tired ass out of here, bro.
So my question again is, you're trying to, your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country and you want people to have civic engagement. Yeah. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service, because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role, it's not good enough to just be on city.
To be of service to mankind. This is what he did. That's what he been doing. He's been working in medicine. And then we ain't even tapped into the racism part. Like he's cool, man. He's cool. And I'm like, this is not no political anything. It just happened to be political because what he's doing. But I'm just here to address the elephant in the room that this was a bunch of bullshit.
City student council, were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality? Or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
Going to count government service. You're absolutely
no, not government
right.
service.
Okay.
Student council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th. Were you a leader? Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better lunch? I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris. Yeah. I'm not talking about government. I can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir.
All right, because y'all see the type of she on, bruh. It's just whack. I'm not about to. I thought I could go through the whole conversation again. I just thought it was disrespectful. It's like I fast forwarded to another conversation where, Charlemagne and him go back and forth about their politics and shit. This was a mess. This was just stupid, right? But
do you want to unite the country?
I do want to unite the country.
So why is one of your marquee campaign proposals making sure black people can no longer benefit from affirmative action?
See, here's the thing. It's actually been a disastrous experiment over the last 60 years. I've seen the impact that it's had. Unlike a lot of other executives, I've had senior executives in my company who happen to be black, senior executives in my campaign who happen to be black. I actually went to a majority or close to majority black school 1st through 8th grade. There isn't a single one of those black kids or black colleagues that could not have achieved everything I have in my life. I firmly believe that to be true. And I have seen the unfair discrimination behind closed doors, the things that people will say behind closed doors, about somebody who would have had that position anyway, but was unfairly tarred with the taint of saying they got it because of a race-based quota system. I think that's unjust to everyone across the board. And I think that the right way to do this is actually ensure equality of opportunity, educational access at an early age, which, by the way, we don't have in this country, starting at an actual young age. How about doing that in a way that's agnostic to race? That way we prevent seeing one another on the basis of a color of our skin, but we actually solve the real inequalities that we have when it starts with inequality of opportunity, starting with education. So my view is, I think my approach is actually going to be more successful in lifting up more black Americans than have been the Lyndon Johnson approach of actually using race-based quota systems.
So if the Supreme Court does rule on affirmative action and they do ban it, who do you feel it benefits versus who it hurts?
I think that
it
helps everyone if they end race-based affirmative action in college admissions. I think it will literally help everyone in different ways because it restores merit in the United States. Are we perfect in ensuring equality of opportunity? No, we're not. The fact that kids are trapped by the zip code in which they're born, determining where they go to school, is a problem, which is why I favor universal school choice in this country, which has actually done more to help black Americans than has any affirmative action program.
What's your thoughts on people saying that you got Don Lemon fired?
I think that the New York Times reported that. I had an open debate with Don Lemon with this, what CNN wanted to.
Yeah. But you see where they're going though, right? It's all this victim mind state bullshit, man. You getting rid of affirmative action, so you don't want to see black people succeed. Like, saying that is so crazy because you're essentially saying that black folks need affirmative action to succeed, which is a cripple. We're handicapped and we're not. But that's a mind state that has been molded in black folks' minds to always fall back on, it must be due to my race that I can't achieve this. And then at the same time, black folks are being moved ahead over people more deserving of certain positions. Affirmative action is racist at the end of the day, because you are discriminating others and focusing on one race, putting them ahead of everybody else, regardless of merit, right? But you're really messing up everything doing that. You're messing up economy, messing up businesses, you're messing up everything when you have people that are not worthy of certain positions, ill-equipped when other people are, but the only reason that they get in these positions because they're black. There's a whole situation of Asians not being able to be accepted in colleges because they always outscore everybody on these tests and they're being pushed out because they're too competitive, bro. And that's what you want. You want the most competitive individual in businesses. It's just the reprogramming of mindset, man. That's what it is. Reprogramming of mindset. Starting at education. Starting at the base root of it. When you mold children at a young age to believe that they can get whatever the hell it is they want, regardless of their circumstances, you're going to have a lot more opportunity than you relying on the system to put you there because you're black and you just can't get right. This is about Vivek Ramaswamy, but I can't help but to give my 2 cents on situations like this, bro. It's crazy because 10 years ago you asked me about affirmative action, bro. Yeah, we need it. No, the fuck we don't. Affirmative action inhibits black folks to be lazier because they can rely on that. I don't got to work as hard as I'm black. They're gonna push me ahead. You know what I mean? Meeting race quotas. That's whack. That's whack. When diversity is whack, it's forced diversity. Diversity, real definition of diversity, when everybody is competitive, regardless of their fucking race, and the most competitive wins, and it naturally turns into diversity. Forced diversity is a bunch of bullshit, and it creates problems.
To do with that is their choice. My view is, though, we need to start saying in public the things that people are otherwise saying in private. There's a gap right now in the country. Let's admit it. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter.
You gotta be careful with that because a lot of people in your party gonna start saying nigga out loud.
What?
I don't think so, actually. And I would certainly hope not. I would condemn it if they do. I would condemn it if anybody does. All right? But what I think is we need to close the gap between what people say in private and what they say in public. That allows us to air our differences, and then we actually find unity that way. That's actually what I think unites the country, not creating this culture of hush-hush, right? Say one thing in public and a different thing in private. And I do reject Don Lemon's premise. What did he tell me on set? He said, you can disagree with me when you have black skin and you've lived in this country, whatever ethnicity you are.
But
victimhood and disrespectful. Victimhood and disrespectful. My struggle is worse than yours because I'm black. I don't know, no matter what the fuck you've been through, you can't say anything to me because I'm black. That makes me, that's not about me. That makes me feel small. It makes me realize how small my mindset used to be, but I couldn't help it. I was brainwashed, bro. I was brainwashed, dog, and it's just cringy to know that I used to be that way, and it's cringy as hell when I see other black people speak that way. You know what I mean? And until you've been in my shoes, you can't speak on anything. That's just not the way this world works. We're in all of this together. We can't do this shit alone. If you want to be alone with that mind state, you're going to continue struggling along with that mind state.